All right, guys, we're going to set up for our last presentation, and I promise you, you've sat long, I understand it, but this guy's got more energy than you'll ever see, I promise. He's an expert in customer service. He's worked with tons of companies. He's worked with the Pentagon. He's worked with Home Depot. He's worked with hotel chains. All sorts of people from all over the country bring Tim in to talk to them about what we've brought him to talk to you about. So I want you guys to welcome Tim. I want you to enjoy his presentation. I promise you guys have not, I promise you guys have stayed for a good reason. So Tim Smith.
Have you met me? How we doing, Gene? We okay?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay, good. Okay, welcome. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for spending your part of your evening with me. As Joey said, my name is Tim Smith. I am the Tim Smith from Tim Smith Consulting. If you have questions, comments, concerns, or any smart remarks throughout the presentation, I respond very well to Tim or hey yo, if that's okay. So Mr. Smith is my father. I come from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I'm about an hour north of Philadelphia. Marcy asked this earlier. How many of you are business owners? My business owners? Okay, how many of you are customers? Any customer? How many of you came for the food? Okay, good. Yeah. There's a sign that says no food in the rehearsal hall. Wow, that is so cool. Hey, Mark, you talked about signage. I'm just trying to read the signage there. Okay. Everybody, first of all, before I begin, everybody take a deep breath. Deep breath. Okay, let it out. Okay, good. Good. Breathe. Breathe. I know the mystery Fortune 500 company is coming in. I've spent some time over the last couple days here in Hillsborough, and I guess I'm meeting with some people from Marion tomorrow. Well, I guess it'll depend on tonight if I'm going to be meeting the people from Marion tomorrow. I guess it is. Yeah, see how good you do tonight. But I got a good sense of some of the things that are going on here. I'm going to do it a little bit different than what Roger said. You know, Roger took the background from the box store, the big box store. Marcy took it from the, first of all, you should be the next governor of Kansas. Hey, I'm all in. I'm all in. You got the lieutenant governor sitting right here. I'm all in. I'm all in. So I'm going to look at it a little bit differently, coming at it from, there are chinks in their armor. But the reason I actually had you guys breathe is, okay, the initial shock's over. We're not Florence. This is not Newton. This is not McPherson. We're not going under. And I know some of you actually, when you heard that this place was coming in, I guess I could imagine. I could probably say the same thing, that it's like, okay, we're going to go down because it's going to be nothing but antique stores. They're going to take over. Nah, just breathe. The initial shock's over. Let's take a step back. Actually, I think we should be doing this as business owners every 6 months. We should be doing it and taking a step back and looking at our business and saying, okay, what do we do well? What do we do well? What do we need to work on? And then Marcy just mentioned about setting up expectations. About 45 minutes of the presentation is going to be 11 different expectations that the customer service rule goes by. So I'm going to give you 11 impressions. She gave you 8. I'm going to piggyback on that. But before I get to that, what are the things that we do well? Roger, for those of you that were here with Roger, he talked about tell your story, and I think one young lady actually brought up, I'm going to tell your stories from the places that I've met over the last 2 days, that I know you think that it's like, well, we always do this, you know, people expect that. Yeah, but those are still things that people don't, the average company, and I can tell you that Walmart is not going to do. I got a chance to meet with Catherine and John over at the lumber yard. They got a wedding registration. They got a wedding registration at the lumber yard. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, that is so cool. That's so cool. Marcy Clean, if you are still around, if you're here tomorrow, I'd like you to go to the lumber yard, go into the women's bathroom. That is gorgeous. Seriously, gorgeous. She showed it to me. There was nobody in there. I guess I should have started with that. I should have started with that. But that is absolutely, it's gorgeous. I love the coral. She got a printer. She got a flower there. And just like, I thought that was so cool. Dale, I saw Dale's Market. There my boy is. I met Dale yesterday. I would say that if you got a chance, go in the attic and look at the old structure there. It has hand-painted stenciling on it. That was cool. But Dale, when I walked into the store, there was a gentleman probably about 3 inches higher than I was, probably about 20 pounds bigger than I was, walking out the store, and this very small little young lady with black hair was carrying the groceries. So I thought it was like, that's so neat that it's kind of like, well, you know, I'm thinking maybe the dad ought to take it from the daughter. So I get in there and meet Dale. That girl comes back in, and I'm thinking, I'm kind of like, she carries the groceries out. And I'm thinking, the guy's bigger than I was, taller than I was. Why couldn't he do it himself? But she carried the grocery out. I thought that was so cool. He is hummus. He's got hummus. For anybody in here, he's got hummus. He's got 2 styles of hummus. He's got red pepper and regular. Who knew? And for those of you that ever shopped over there, that if you need an item, I'm sure he's going to go out and get it for you.
That's right.
Those are neat little things. I didn't get sausage. I hear he does sausage. He was out. He was out when I went in. He was out.
You have to stay.
He was out. He said, he's like, this is where the sausage goes. I'm like, yep, that's it. He goes, I have something to take, but I'm thinking it's like, okay, it's Wednesday. Now I got to keep this at the Days Inn. Then I got to get it on a plane. I'm not sure if U.S. Airways is going to think kindly of me packing something with dry ice in my, overhead bin space. But I do know you would ship it, so you will be hearing from me. I got my boy Eric over here from the pharmacy. He actually drops stuff off on his way home to customers. Thought that was a cool thing that he does. What else do I got? I want to make sure that I get everybody. Jost. Did I say that right? Jost? Jost. Man, you don't even have to pay for the gas. The guy sends you a bill at the end of the month. And air is free. Who knew that? Who knew that? I'm just betting that come next year that the kid over at Walmart in the gasoline place in the little booth that's there, I'm sure in -5-degree weather, he's going to come out and pump your gas for you. Yeah, you're going to have to probably knock on the window when he, get the earbuds and like, yeah. He actually fills up your tires. He washes your windshields. I want to make sure that I get this right, so I took some notes here. The lumberyard, Josh, Dale's. Oh yeah, he drops them off. He delivers to the senior center too.
That's right.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of neat. Hillsborough State Bank, I met with Cynthia and her group yesterday. Their hometown, they make decisions right here. So the things that we take for granted because people expect that of us, those are things that you're not going to see from the Walmarts, the Targets, or whoever's of the world. I wish I would have been in Marion over the last couple of days so I could give those examples with it, but those are the things that I saw that just struck me that I'm like, wow, with it over the last couple of days here. So Roger had mentioned about, blow your own horn, and I know growing up, 54 years young, my mom and dad always told me, don't talk about yourself. But yeah, you do a lot of things right here. You do a lot of things right, and that's the competition. I'm competitive. I played a lot of sports in my days, and I am competitive as the next guy. I want competition. I want it. Bring them on. Bring Costco in. Bring Oprah in, for all I care. Seriously. If she says, I love Costco, and the stock goes straight up. I don't care who it is. Bring them in. Because if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a business owner, not only taking care of my customers, you guys, but I'm taking care of my staff, bring in the best of the best, and I'll take you on. Seriously, I'll take you on. Because if I'm doing my part well, my customers, will they go to Walmart? Yeah, because I'm not open on Sundays, and I don't want you. Anybody have a family in here? Good, that's your day. That's your day. I don't want you to change hours with it. You can look at it and say, okay, but if you look, okay, they're going to be open Sunday. Big deal. So if you open Sunday, guys, and you're sitting there, you're paying to put the lights on, you're paying a couple staff members, you're taking yourself away from your family and your golf game or whatever you're doing for what, 3 people? It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. But I want to make sure that I'm doing my part, and I want to share with you certain things that you guys can do and certain chinks in the Walmart armor that are out there that I have seen. 2 words. For those of you that have seen me before, you will probably remember these words. I always talk about reacting and responding. Let's talk about reacting and responding. Reacting is when you first heard that there was a mystery store coming in, a Fortune 500 coming in, right away the reaction was, my God, we're going to be Newton, we're going to be Florence, we're going to be this, we're going to be this, we're going under, we might as well close the doors now, save face. Welcome to the world of reacting. Because when I react, other people are making decisions for me. I'm letting the outside entity take that issue for me. When I respond, I'm in control. So now the reason I ask you to take a breath, now let's talk about, okay, what can we do? How can we take this and make this ours? How can we make this ours? What can I do for my business to make it mine? Again, a knee-jerk reaction, and it would be a reaction, is to change my hours, lower my prices, do something just based on the Walmarts of the world. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to try to be all things to all people because you can't. Where are my business owners? My business owners in here? Okay. How many of you have ever just made a boneheaded move like I did? You just thought to yourself that it's like you were thinking of something else to do, and you were thinking, okay, I need to do this, and it was outside what you do. It was outside your core of what you do, and it ended up coming back and biting you somewhere along the way. Anybody? Yeah, mine was, training and development, 29 years. I do certain programs, and I think I do them well. Pfizer, the big drug company, New Groton, Connecticut, the home office, the mothership, wanted me to come in and do a secretarial administrative program. I can do that. Yeah, I realize I can't do that. No longer a customer. Taught me a big lesson. So go back and look at what is our core value. When we talk about what is the goal of your business, why did you open this thing? Why did you start this thing? And go back and look at that and say, okay, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to provide for this community, for this county, for this city? And go back and look at it and say, okay, that's my main goal. And not get caught up in trying to be all things to all people because you can't. You can't. You're going to end up like me without one major big customer there. Welcome to the world of reacting. Responding is going to be taking a step back and look at, okay, what do we do well here? What do we do well? What are the things that we do well? Who is our customer base? Who is our demographics? Marcy talked about social media. I know there's a couple people in here that do social media in here. But before you jump on the social media bandwagon and start doing all this other stuff, I need a website, I need this. Basically look at your customer base and say, are they the type of people that get up in the morning and open up their laptop or their tablet and go on my website to see what specials I'm dealing with that day? My mom is 80 years old. My mom is 80 years old. She and the people that she lives with at this community center or this apartment complex, they go to Dina's Diner. I call it Dina's Dump. Marcy was talking about cleaning signage. Dina still has the chalkboard out front that she writes the specials on in the morning. I can tell you my mom, she does not open up her tablet and go to the website and look at what the specials Dina's having that day. They go down and they actually drive in and they actually look at the chalkboard and then they walk in. So before you say I got to go out there and do a social present, take a step back and look at the demographics of your customers. 2,400 people here in Hillsborough. Very, very conservative, somewhat, very minimalist from what I see, that more is less here. I'm looking at probably a lot of baby boomers in this room, which is probably me. Joey is probably the youngest person here by 20 years. I've been doing this longer than you've been alive, son. What else? I got undershirts older than you are. And I've heard that growing up when I first started in the business. But I got to look at my demographics and I got to look at the people who I'm dealing with and saying, okay, I want to fit my customer base. Am I doing something? Am I doing a knee-jerk reaction because somebody said I needed a website? to promote my business, but my business is not that the people that I come in here are not getting on their tablets. They're not the social media group. I do agree with her. I do agree that there should be somewhat of a social media, somewhat of an internet presence out there, but don't go crazy and start putting a lot of money in there when it's not buttering your bread. For those of you that were around this earlier today, Roger talked about the 80-20 rule. 20% of my staff or 20% of my customers generate 80% of my business. I'm going to piggyback something Marcy said about training your staff and engaging them. 20% of my staff does 80% of the work. Anybody agree? And 20% of my staff drives me 80% nuts. Do you ever notice it's the same people with the same questions over and over and over all day long? Anybody ever get the look here? Anybody ever get a look? Anybody ever get a look? I'm talking at work, the look. This is the look. You come into my office, Tim, can I get a couple minutes? How many of you ever got this? What? Is that look towards you? No. But did you ever take it, or did the other person ever take it towards you? Hopefully they did, but people look at it. You come in the morning, what are you thinking? This is me walking in the morning. What are you thinking? How many of you are thinking, okay, Tim's having one of them days, stay away from it. Okay. This is me coming in. Now what are you thinking? Now what are you thinking? Yeah. What was in your orange juice? That's close. That's close. The only two reasons you come in smiling to work is one, you got to be new. Seriously, you can always tell the new people because they always come in. It's kind of like, okay, let's write loans. And the other reason you come in, smiling is the medication didn't kick in yet with it. When I'm reacting to things, the other person's in control. Just coming in here, just coming to this conference, just coming to the college. How many of you were behind somebody that should not have a state-issued driver's license? Thank you. I've been staying down in Newton, and I understand the Days Inn gave me a great rate, $41 a night. I'm a guy on a business trip. I need a bed of hot water and a TV. But Cox Communications, they took Channel 6 away from me last night. Yeah, no Nashville for me. Hate that. Coming up and down Route 50, I'm behind people that I'm like, it says 65. It says 65. And if you're going to be in a left-hand lane of that road and you're not doing 65, anybody else agree with me? Move over. Yeah, I can tell you there were a couple of times in the passing lane, I'm kind of like, okay, wait for them to move over. They didn't, so I passed them on the right. Passed them on the right. I know I'm not supposed to do that, and you're probably thinking of guys from Pennsylvania, the Northeast Corridor, we're all nuts. We are. Passing them on the right, did you think I reacted or responded to them? Oh, I reacted. Yeah. Anybody ever give the look driving? This was me. The sign says 135. I was loving that road for a little bit. Officer, the sign said 135. Hey, what the heck? You know how fast you were going? Yes, right there the sign says it. But I'm owning that. But am I reacting to the things or am I responding to things? Am I making decisions? Am I making decisions based on Walmart or am I making them based on the goals of my business? And am I making them based on what I want to do, my demographics, my customer base, my community, my products, my services, or am I letting somebody else dictate the way that I make decisions? The reason I ask you to breathe is because now we want to respond to things. Now we want to respond. Also, for those of you, those little things that you do that don't think because everybody expects it, I know I have Lena from the chamber here. I know I have the Marion chamber person. Please, guys, if you do anything within your business, let the chamber know about it so they can actually help you market your business and put it in their newsletter for even those little things. Even if you get a new hire, if you promoted somebody, just put that in there. Get the word out so Marcia talked about advertising. I get free advertising if I'm a chamber member in it. So all those little things to be able to use within the community. There are going to be 3 chinks in Walmart's armor that I see in my research and travel in the country. There are 3 chinks in their armor that you can attack here and you can be competitive on. The first chink in their armor is the perception part of it. And actually, Roger brought that up earlier today. The perception is they have the lowest prices in town. No, they don't. No, they don't. But that's the perception out there. They don't have the lowest prices. When they do come, and I don't know how you pour concrete in 25-degree weather, so that's springtime and when they're supposed to open, maybe push back to summer. But when they do open, go over there. If I'm a pharmacy person, the gas station person, the grocery person, go over there and compare your items. Not only what their price is, but also the unit price there. Compare it to what you offer and what you price it as. And I'm willing to bet it's going to be very comparable. It's going to be comparable. There are going to be certain things that you're not going to be able to compete on because they get to buy bulk with it. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But compare it. But it's the perception that they have the lowest prices in town, and they don't. They don't. So it's our job to change that perception of our customers, going back and telling what we do. I'm not in the trashing businesses. I'm not in the trashing competition. I don't want to say, well, they don't do that. They don't do that. I want to rephrase it with, we do this. We do this. This is what I do. This is what we do with it. So I want to rephrase just that statement with it. Yes.
And in my understanding with Walmart, even though they may carry the same brand name, in certain things like small appliances, it may be a cheaper version made for specifically Walmart.
Yep. And I want to tell them that. I want to tell the people, yeah, it is. You can get this over there. This is actually this is a cheaper version of it.
Like the cord might be shorter.
Yeah. It could be, and all the different things. It's like you would mention about that you actually go out to people's homes. That you'll go out to people's homes, look at the carpet type of thing, say, okay, what are you going to put in here? What room are you going to put it in? Are you going to do this? And it's like, hey, this is going to be my exercise room. That's great. That's great. What are you bringing in? Well, I'm bringing in a treadmill. Okay, a piece of particle board ain't going to hold that treadmill. It's not going to hold the treadmill. So those are the things that you're bringing to the table, which is the second, thank you so much, second chink in the Walmart armor is the knowledgeable about their products and services. Their staff being knowledgeable about the products. It's going to be a new store, so you're going to walk in and say, I'm looking for the canned soup. So am I. I'm new. Not the answer I was looking for. Not what I was looking for. That is so you can find somebody in it. But just the knowledge of the people that are going to be in that store. I could go to Dale and he can probably tell me in the meat department the different sausages, what he's got here. When I said you have hummus, he's like, yeah, the red pepper. Right away. And I go into the place that I go to when I go grocery shopping. It's not a big chain, but the person in the meat department, when I say I'm having a party and I'm looking for a pork loin, he said, are you in wine? And I'm looking at him going, yeah, what kind? And he goes, I recommend a white wine for this. If you're going to be doing this, if you're going to do the pork loin, if you're going to smoke it, if you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And I'm just looking at the guy going, wow. I'm thinking, come home with me, dude.
Yo.
Yes.
Another thing.
There you go.
My number one pet peeve when I go into a store, if I can't find something and I ask somebody and they say, well, if we had it, it'd be over there. Well, I didn't ask you where it might be. I asked you, do you have it?
Yeah. And where it is.
Yes.
And not just, well, it would be over there. Okay? We're over there. There's a big space. One of the things at Home Depot, when Bernie Marcus and Arthur Blank actually had it in the beginning, they would actually, if you would go into a Home Depot and ask for 4-inch screws, somebody would physically take you to the 4-inch screws. So they're being knowledgeable. So when I look at, Marcy had mentioned about engaging, Roger talked about, your staff. Is my staff knowledgeable on all the products that we offer? Is my staff up to date with all the products, the services that we actually have to offer? I know there's going to be a lot of things within your store that there's going to be certain specialty items and specialized departments, but I want to make sure, as my young lady said, that everybody knows where everything is and we're not just pointing, we're taking people. We're taking people over there. So as a business owner, part of it, I want to make sure that is my staff trained properly. Am I sharing with them, and am I educating them? Am I training? Am I coaching them on the daily operations of what our store does? And the third thing, the biggest chink in Walmart's armor is the accessibility and the ability to get in and get out in a reasonable amount of time. Anybody ever been in a Walmart? They got 25 cash registers, 25 of them, and 2 are open. Anybody ever see that? 2 are open. And you see these blue-vested associates walking by, and there's like 15 people in line, and they walk by. Look at the line. I'm like, yeah, look at the line. You know how to use one of them? Open it. It's almost like I got to go shopping with somebody else. You stand and you shop, I'll stand in line. By the time you're done, I should be there. I should be close. So when I look at my business, when I'm looking at my particular business, I look at those 3 areas, the perception, am I marketing my business? Am I talking about all the little things that people expect? Well, we always do that. Those are the little things that I want to start to offer. Those are the things that I want to promote. I was over at the bank yesterday, and we were talking about references, testimonials. I try to do a good job of promoting other people's business, but when it comes to mine, I pretty much stink at it. Testimonials. You got customers that come here no matter what. They will actually crawl over glass to meet you, type of things. Get those individuals. Ask them, can I use your name? Can I use what you just said with it? I know it's hard, and it's like, this is my mentality. It's, growing up, you're not supposed to brag about yourself. I need to talk about the things that we do well. I need to change the perception that is out there. We are compatible to the things. I didn't get your name, miss.
Dawn.
Dawn. Well, that miss, now it's Dawn, okay? What Dawn was just saying, it's like, hey, yeah, if they want a comparable shop, I'm okay with that. But are they comparing apples to apples? And this goes back to the knowledge within my products and my services. So if they're saying, well, I can get that over there for this amount, yeah, but is it the same thing that you're buying here? Is it the same thing that you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this? If you're going to do this with it, hey, where are you going to put it? The cord, you better make sure that cord is actually, it says it's 6 feet. 6 feet. Even when they promote that the advertising says that the starting salaries are going to be $13.52 per hour full-time people. Full-time people. Full-time people that are going to be at that store is going to be basically the store manager who has the keys and a pharmacist. That's it. I don't think they're going to be 29 and a half hours. They're going to be 29 hours, 28 hours. I don't see full-time people working over there. I don't see them working over there. So I want to promote what we do. First thing. Second one is, am I knowledgeable? Am I training everybody? Policies and procedures. One time when I was still married, my ex-wife, she went up to Walmart and bought Halloween candy. I'm cheap. I went to the Dollar General. It's $1. The lady and we were returning it. And I still remember we were in the parking lot. We were walking in, and we had the bags of candy. We weren't open. We had the bags of candy. And I looked at her. I said, "Are you sure we can return this?" She said, "Yes. The person at the checkout line said we can return this. Don't you trust me?" I said, "I trust you explicitly. I just don't trust that the person that we're going to take it to in customer service is going to be the same person that you talked to at the checkout line." When we walked in there, we went to customer service, stood in line because there was only one customer service there taking all the returns. We get up, we said, "We'd like to return this." The lady looked at us and said, "You can't return it because it's actually perishable." They changed the rules in the middle of the game. So when I'm talking to one person within your store, if I go to different people within your store, am I getting the same message? Am I getting the same message? The grocery store, one of the bigger chains in the Allentown area, has a sign that says cash only, 8 items or less. Cash only, 8 items or less. Yeah, a person standing me in front of me the one day, 25 items and a MasterCard in their hand. And I know it was 25 items because I count them for them. I count them for them. And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. 2 things bother me. First thing bothered me, the person in front of me, even though he should know how to count. The second thing that bothered me was the person actually let the cashier let him go through. Then the next day I go in, or the following week I go in, and I have 11 items, different cashier. Guess what she does? I'm sorry, sir, you're over the limit. This is the express line. You have to go over there. You got to go over there. Ever happen to anybody in this room? They're changing rules in the middle of the game. I want to make sure that when people come into our store, what we're saying, it's going to be consistent throughout everybody in our store. And the third thing is the transaction piece. I want to be able to get in and I want to be able to get out. I understand, Eric, there are going to be times the HIPAA laws, I'm going to have to fill out forms. I understand I'm going to have to fill out forms because it's by law. They could shut you down. But all you got to do is tell me and say, hey, Tim, the reason I need this, it's just I need your signature on this. It's just one of the federal rules, regulations. I'm okay with that. I'm fine. And if you have if you're telling me I am one of your special customers, one of your preferred people, show me. Why am I filling out paperwork? Anybody in here ever make a hotel reservation online? Anybody make a hotel reservation online? So you actually got to fill in all that information to actually get the reservation, then you get a confirmation number, correct? Okay, so they got all this information. They probably got a chip in my neck, no less. I get to the hotel, what are they asking? I need all this information. Am I making it easier? And I'm looking at them going, it's kind of like I just gave you all of this information before. If you have all of that information on me, please fill all of those things out so when I come in, the transaction period is I can get in and I can get out with it. That's going to be a problem because I've never seen a Walmart neighborhood grocery. Roger, you were talking about the Target, I want to get this right. Target Express. I've never seen, you mentioned college towns. I've never seen one of those.
Yeah, Minneapolis-St. Paul market is where they're launching.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going up there at the end of the month, so, okay. Well, Target's mothership is up in Minneapolis. Are they any place else? Are they putting them out any place else?
They've bought property in the upper Midwest.
Okay.
12 locations.
Okay.
They haven't launched them yet.
Okay.
We've got 2 up and running.
Okay. That'd be interesting. I'd like to see that. But I'm probably getting back to my point, the Walmart, the grocery, the neighborhood grocery store, I'm probably thinking about 4, maybe 5 aisles. 4, maybe 5 aisles. But I'm probably thinking they're going to man probably 1, maybe 2 at the most. Probably start off with 2, but 1 probably down the road. So the transaction period to be able to get in and being able to get out. Some of the customer base around here, again, being an elderly demographic, some of the individuals, they don't want to get in and get out. They're just lonely. They just want to come in and talk to you. I mean, how many of you ever had one of the customers come in? It's like, can I help you? No, I'm just here for the coffee. Okay, can I help you with anything? Nope, I'm just here. They got their newspaper. They got the free press. They're just sitting there in the waiting room, drinking the coffee, reading the paper. Can I help you with anything? Nope, I'm being taken care of. I don't need anything. I just came in for the coffee.
Yo, we sell Canadian Tim Horton coffee at the flooring store.
You sell?
Tim Horton Canadian coffee at the flooring store.
Do you really?
I mean, to go, but we do. Now, where do you find that?
Yeah, how big?
We have the big cans.
Okay, 3 ounces?
We have the bags. We have bags like that.
And how big the bags?
I don't remember the number of ounces.
Okay.
We're open tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that it's kind of like Dawn trying to get that on a plane and U.S. Airways come Saturday morning at Kansas City. 2 people, the TSA may be drinking my coffee. They may be drinking my coffee.
We have a UPS spot, so we can mail it out for you.
Can you? Okay. UPS.
That'll work.
They only make right turns. Somebody at UPS, actually, did you ever notice, but I saw a UPS truck yesterday on Ash take a left. I didn't have my phone with me. I'm like, UPS taking a left. That's so cool. But they only make right turns because there's somebody within UPS said that it's like if you make right turns, you can get to more deliveries, you can exit more people in a day, and you can actually save gas and save time by making right turns only. Wow. Okay, so I'm getting sausage and I'm getting coffee. This is good. I'm liking life. Okay, knowledgeable staff, doing our part. Marcia just mentioned about the 8 things. I want to give you 11. 2 of them are going to piggyback with what she said, but I I've gotten this information over time, research. The 11 things that people look for, they call it the 7-Eleven rule. The 7-Eleven rule states in the first 7 seconds of a contact or a come in contact with your store, the customer or the guest or the consumer, whatever we're calling them, will form 11 impressions. 11. Number 1, and I'm going to give you to in the order that I got them through this information, this research. Number 1 is knowledge. The number 1 thing people look for from their service provider is knowledge. And they broke knowledge down into 3 parts. 3 parts. First part of the knowledge was job knowledge. And this is going to go for me as the business owner. If I go into your store tomorrow, and I would go up and ask, just pick out random people within the store, and I would ask them 6 questions. Question 1, what's the goal of the store? What's the mission? What's the purpose of this store? Would they be able to tell me? And would what they tell me match your version of the goal, the vision, the mission? Then the next 5 questions I would ask them is, give me your jobs. Define your job to me. Top 5 job duties as they see them. So I wait for them to write it down, or if they just telling me, we're just doing this verbally, I'm going to write them down. And I come to you, the manager, I come to you, the store owner, and I ask you, hey, I just met with Dawn, and I asked her about what the goal was, and I asked her what her top 5 job duties are. Do you think that the people that I go up to talk to within your store, those 6 answers that they gave me, are they going to match the 6 answers you're about to give me? So everybody in your store knows exactly what the goal, the vision, the mission, and the purpose of that store is, other than make money. And do they know what their job is? So again, Marcy used the word expectations. Have I clearly explained to the people what their role within this store is and how it fits with everybody else within the store? What they do or what they don't do, that they understand how that affects everybody else down the line. She had mentioned about friendly. When I walk in and at Dale's Market, the 2 young ladies were like, hi, and I'm like, oh my God, they must not know me. But everybody was smiling. Everybody was saying hi to me. I'm thinking, that is so cool. Because if they don't, do they realize that what they do or don't do, how that affects my response or reaction to the other people within that store? That if I go in and, can I say this? Okay. The last grocery store in town was Heartland. I heard their service was challenging. Is that a good word? Challenging. A couple of people had mentioned that they went into the store and the one kid that was working at the store was riding the conveyor belt up and down because I guess the kid was bored. Who knew? And then they had the audacity to blame the community that we didn't support them. Who knew? Am I allowed to say that? Can we edit this? Yeah, they probably didn't quite comprehend what the whole goal was, what the whole concept was. So the first thing I'm going to ask the people is what the goal is. So do they understand what their role is within the store? And that's on me. That's on me as the business owner. Am I coaching them? Am I training them? Am I keeping them up to date with what's going on? We call them internal customers. Call them internal customers. And in my 29 years, almost 30 years of doing this now this year, it'll be 30, I found out that we will treat complete strangers better than we treat people we work with. I'll treat people I work with better than I treat people I live with. Anybody believe that? I mean, if you were walking around Main Street here in Hillsborough and you bumped into somebody, didn't know them, how many of you would say, excuse me, out of common courtesy? Thank you. A family member bumps into you, how many of you are, watch where you're going when you put the phone down? I'm not doing that. I would never give an external customer the look, but I got no problem giving, like my staff, what now? I got no problem giving them the look. So the first thing is knowledge. And the first part of that is, do they understand what their job is, what their role is within this business? The second thing about knowledge is the policies and the procedures. Does everybody understand the policies and the procedures? The return policies, the discount policies. If you actually have, I've seen in some of the stores that I visited, the Hillsborough Choir card. Did I get that right? Yes, good. 5% or 10% off. So does everybody in the store know that? Do they know that? Because I don't want to have somebody come in, I don't want to have my child come in, and it's like, hey, it was at so-and-so, they didn't give me the discount. What do you mean they didn't give me the discount? And then the next person does give me the discount, and there's just, they're changing the rules in the middle of the game. I want to be consistent. If I found anything with baby boomers and people that are older than I, we love routine. We love routine. We love being able to go in and knowing when Dale expanded his market, you know, to the right side, you drove people crazy there, my friend. Because I come in, I'm like, where are the cookies? They've always been here. We like routine. We like structure. We don't like change. My mom, if that paper boy's not at the front door of her apartment at 5:30, the rest of her day is shot. And the rest of myself and my two sisters will hear about it the whole day. Yeah, the kid was late, 5:35, wrecked my whole day. There are some customers that if they don't get their same parking spot in front of your store or the side of your building, they will come in and that will be the first thing that they will say. It's my spot. Somebody's got a blue Prius. That's my spot. I've been parking there for the last 20 years. I want to make sure we're consistent. We're always structured, that there is a plan to it. Again, don't go changing hours just for the sake of changing hours. Don't be opening and closing just because somebody, one person out of 2,400 people said, why don't you open Sundays? Please, welcome to the world of reaction. Then the third thing they talk about knowledge is just personalities or just people, knowledge about themselves, just self-awareness. Bless you, gentlemen in the back. I'm not patient. Not patient. You can tell by the way I drive, I'm not patient. Slow talkers drive me crazy. And I guess you can't fix stupid. It's like I got some I can try. My niece, my 31-year-old niece worked with me. Some of you may have heard that before when I was here. Yeah. Now I know why they call it Generation Y. Huh. Why do I got to do this? 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 I'm 54 years young. You know what the answer I'm giving my niece is? Because I said so. Because I said so. God, it's like if you're at the front counter and there's nobody in the store and the garbage can has stuff in it. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Thank you. Oh, gosh, thank you. I love you. Okay, they're just standing there like, hey, the garbage, hang on, man. I'm level 15 at Candy Crush. Pick it up! And I got to say it every day. It's amazing. So it gets frustrated at times because I know me and I know myself, and I was brought up that if you want something done right, you should. Thank you. What's going to take me an hour and a half to teach you, I can do in 5 minutes. What wins? Thank you. I'll teach you later. Then this whole feedback thing. Oh, Jesus. You get paid, right? How many of you get paid? How many of you get a paycheck in here? Okay, good. Shut up. There's your appreciation. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. That's how I was brought up. No news is good news. That if I'm not in front of you, you're doing okay. Joey, if you don't hear from me, you're fine. Keep working. Because the day I show up in front of your office, we got a problem. Talk about motivating the youngins out there. Oh, geez, I got to put a bumper sticker on the back of my car. My son's an honors student at Hillsborough Elementary School. You're supposed to graduate from kindergarten to first grade. You're supposed to go up. You're supposed to be on the honor roll. So again, looking at myself, it's frustrating that I got to keep doing that feedback all the time. My niece, I give her 10 things to do. She comes back after the first one. I got it done.
Good job.
I'm sitting there looking at it going, what about the another I gave you? So not only is it knowledge about my customers, it's knowledge about myself. That there are going to be certain customers that you see them drive up, they get out of their car, and you see them walking in. How many of you ever thought to yourself, I'm going to the restroom, I'll be right back. You got caller ID, you see their name on caller ID, and you're thinking to yourself, not today, not today. There are just certain people that you just look at them, it's like, well, what's the problem? I don't know, I just don't like them. But understanding, am I putting my staff in positions to be successful? Am I putting a very technical individual? I got a website guy, a website guy. You don't want to put one of them very technical people on the front lines. They just want to code everything. So we take the best techie and we put them in customer service. Anybody ever called customer service of like your internet provider or something? They're how about it, Patty? They're talking RAMs, ROMs, CDs, motherboards, motherships, and I'm just kind of like my screen's black. Well, we need to reboot it. I kicked it 3 times. You want me to have at it again? I didn't do that. Got to make sure I'm talking language that the customer understands in it. Understands. The second thing, and Marcy mentioned this, so number 2, so the first thing people look for is knowledge. And again, we can beat the bejesus out of Walmart just in having knowledgeable staff. Just knowing what our products and services are. The second thing is friendly. And I know Marcy brought that up, but I'm thinking it's like friendly. You got to be kidding me. You walk in, how many of you have ever gone out and as a customer walked into a place and felt like you were an interruption in somebody's day? It just felt like an interruption. I'm not talking about the car dealership where it's like, there's one on the lot. And then everybody's like hanging out, coming diving over cars for you. I don't want to get to the Wendy's commercial. Anybody remember old Cora?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody back there. Good morning. Hi, how are you? How are you? Welcome. Thank you for being here. What brings you here today? The 2 girls, they were just smiling. I guess I had a suit and tie on. They thought I was an auditor, but it was still nice. It was still nice. Joel and I went to the Mexican place right across the street from him on, Tuesday we went out. The people in there were probably thinking, why is Joel's attorney in town? I'm also Joey's attorney because we went there yesterday. Why do you have a suit and tie on? It's a business relationship that you have here. So am I friendly when I come in the morning? Again, I'm not asking you to walk in like that. They're going to think you're nuts. Eric, they're going to think you're dipping into the, okay, 1 pill here, 1 pill here. I recommend you put a mirror by every phone in your store. Get a mirror. Go to Dollar General. Go get a mirror, something small, something about this size, and put it by every phone. And before people answer the telephone, when the phone rings, the first ring, I want your staff to look in the mirror, smile. Can you hear a smile on the phone?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. And I can also hear, how many of you ever had somebody chewing gum in your ear? Oh, that is the most obnoxious thing I've ever heard in my life. Thank you for calling Dale's supermarket. It's like, I know they don't do that, but I'm hoping they don't do that. Just smile. Hi, welcome. Well, I'm not a morning person. I don't care. Fake it then. Just fake it. I've seen people walking around businesses. Joey mentioned the Pentagon. I was just there a couple months ago. There are people walking around the Pentagon like... I'm thinking of one guy, if he was wearing corduroy, he would have started the building on fire. Voicemail. You guys have voicemail in here? Got voicemail? Okay. If I would play it now, if I would get my iPhone out, call it, and play it on the loudspeaker for everybody, what's it sound like? Does it sound perky? Does it sound enthusiastic? Does it sound friendly? Does it sound like you want to help me, or does it sound like you did it for the sake of doing it? Bueller. Yeah, you call my, you know, you're gonna be here. So you call, you look up my name, and some of you have seen me before. So you call my business phone. Thank you for calling Tim Smith from Tim Smith Consulting. I must be away from my desk or out of town motivating another group. Please leave your name and your phone number, and I'll get back to you when and if I can. Thank you for calling. Remember, Tim Smith Consulting, our motto is motivating today's workers for tomorrow's results. Have a great day. Woohoo! How many of you would have actually rushed over here after work, left it in the hands of a couple high school kids to come see me? You gotta be kidding, there ain't enough sweet tea back there and there ain't enough coffee back there. I'm not suggesting it's like, good morning, this is Tim, the lumber yard. They're gonna be thinking you're in the back, you know, with the resin or something. Smile, hi, welcome, how can I help you? Please, thank you, amazing words. Please and thank you. The third thing,
Tim,
yes.
One more thing I would add to that.
Yes.
People need to say their name when they answer the phone.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge.
Yeah. And you want to say it that I can understand it.
Not 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Say your name quickly. Yeah.
Thank you. It's when you answer the telephone. Thank you so much. I forgot your name.
Lisa.
Lisa.
Anytime.
4 things. You talk about expectations. Marcia mentioned expectations for business owners, expectations for my staff. Usually 4 things when you answer the phone. Number 1 is a greeting. Good morning, good afternoon. Know the time of day here in Hillsborough? Know the time of day. Good afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry, it's midnight. Wow, one of them days. Yeah, there you go. Good morning, good afternoon. Number 2 is the name of the store, or if you're big enough, the name of the department. Number 3, as Lisa said, your name. First name, last name, I'm okay with each. And the 4th one is, how may I help you? How may I help you? Good morning, good afternoon. The name of the store or the department, your name, and how may I help you? Consistency, going back to the policies and the procedures. So if I would call, because I'm going to be here tomorrow, so on my way over to Marion tomorrow morning, if I would call your store, and if I would talk to different people, would I get 4 different ways, because I talked to 4 people, 4 different ways they answer the telephone? Yo. Lumberyard, this is Tim, how can I help you? I'm sorry, who did I call? Lumberyard, this is Tim, how can I help you? I mean, how many of you ever actually had to ask the person who just answered the telephone, I'm sorry, did I call the pharmacy? Yes, you did, how can I help you? We answer the telephone all day long. I mean, how many of you ever at home answered the phone at home like you do at work? Thank you. Yeah, I've dialed 9 to get out of my own home. Get out of my own home. It's like Tim Smith Consulting. Now I'm like, whoa. Yeah, but the friendly. The 3rd one is helpful. Am I helping people? If you look at it, I was at Rod's Tires yesterday morning. Man, I like that guy. I really enjoyed his company. He's actually officiating a basketball game tonight, so he couldn't be with us. But just the excitement of that guy, just the enthusiastic part of it. He tells his techs, we're not in customer service, we're problem solvers. Problem solvers. Marcy had mentioned about she got a flat tire. I could imagine calling Rods and it's like, hey, where are you? Bring it in, we can come get you, not a problem. Not a problem. So it looks at, what can I help you with? What's wrong with it? Put up the car in the lift, looks at the tire and says, it's like, look, there's you got a nail in the tire. Great, that was the cause of it, how are we gonna fix it? Well, we can put a plug in it, which I think would work, or we could put a whole new tire on it. It's your choice. Your choice. Man, that's neat. That's neat. When I come in, not only, it's like, okay, for the carpet, is there gonna be any sun in it? Is there gonna be any windows on it? Are you gonna have any curtains on it? Or, I wanna make sure that this thing doesn't fade in the first 2 years of it. Especially with Eric and with his techs over there, just don't dispense medication, looking at it and saying, look, my kid can't take codeine, the kid would die, and the hospital's prescribed codeine, and Eric's over here going, it's like, whoa, Tim, where'd you get this? Man, loving you. Depending which kid it was, but still loving you. Not only am I helping external people, but am I helping internal people? Think about it as servant leadership from a leadership aspect of it. Am I helping my people give my customers the best service? Or is my policies and my procedures, am I the one that's actually inhibiting my customers or my staff from giving my customers good service? So I got to look at it and say, maybe I need to take a step back. Instead of that triangle that always people have, that I'm at the top of it, revert it and put my staff, put the customers external, then put my internal customers, put me at the bottom. Help me help you. So not only looking at it from externally, what can I do? The 80-20 rule I had mentioned, 20% of my staff does 80% of the work. 20% of my staff drives me 80% crazy, correct? The next time that person comes up to you and asks a question, before you react and answer them right away, because that's our natural answer, it's our instinct, I can answer it, especially as a man. I love that man service thing. That was so cool. You know, man service. Before you answer that question, if your staff asks you a question, ask them a question back. If I wasn't here, what would you have done? If I wasn't here, what would you have done? I said that to my niece the one time. You know what her answer was? I'd wait for you. Not what I was looking for. Am I enabling my staff? Am I enabling them by I'm there, I've been doing this for a long time. God, Dale, I think you were telling me you've been doing that for a long, long time over there. Now I want to try to get out the succession plan, try to get out of this thing. I got to start pushing it down. I got to start giving people responsibility, making decisions. I got to stop making decisions for other people. Again, I think, Roger, you had mentioned store manager to the front counter, please. I don't want to hear any of that. I want them to be able to think. So when people ask me, my staff asks me a question, okay, what do you think we should do? What do you think we should do? So it's not only helping externally, but also helping internally in it. Number 4, Roger covered this. The number 4 thing is value. It's not price. Not price. I'm not going for the cheapest in town, because I think Roger or maybe even Marcy had mentioned it. You know, I buy an appliance from Lowe's, but when it goes haywire, I call Albright's Hardware, which is in my hometown. I call them to come and fix it. I'm not calling them. I'm not calling Home Depot. But I got the cheapest thing, but was the cheapest of value. For those of you that get your hair done in here, for those of you that go to a salon to get your hair done, are you salon specific or are you stylist specific?
Stylist specific.
You're stylist, Lisa.
Absolutely.
So if that young lady or young gentleman would go to Newton, you would follow him.
In fact, my stylist has moved away and I still go get my hair done there.
That's value.
Or she comes to our house.
Yeah.
Does she really?
Well, she was a friend already.
Okay.
But she's at a different shop. I'll make my appointment.
I'll make my way.
Yeah.
Monica does my hair, and I followed her a couple, you know, she was not at the cheapest of the salons, but that's value. So when I look at, can I compare in cost? I may not, because they can buy in bulk. But when I look at the value, you come home, you're past my house, and you drop it off for me. You deliver to my mom who couldn't get out of the house. That stuff is invaluable. That's just invaluable things. My Hillsborough State Bank people, they can actually do things because it's on a local level that some of the other, you know, banks in town may not be able to do. The other banks may be able to do other things, but that's the value. And don't underestimate the little things that you guys do in here. As far as the, you know, walking out with the groceries, as far as delivering, you know what, we can get that. You need tahini, Tim, to make your own hummus. I got hummus here, but if you want to make it, I'll have tahini in here for you Tuesday, you know, in 2 days. 2 days. It's not price. It's not price. But we always think about the lowest price, and it's not. It's the value that we create. The reason those people come in your place just for your coffee, they like your staff. They're there for the camaraderie part of it. My gosh, that is value. I like what you said, and I hope you don't mind. I like the value trumps price. I hope you don't mind if I take that. Thank you. Number 5 and number 6, these go hand in hand. Number 5 is ease of access, and number 6 is ease of transaction. Can I get in and can I get out? Can I get into your store and can I get out of your store? I want to be able to get in. I also one-stop shopping. I mean, walking around Dale's, it's like, oh my gosh, you got this. I didn't realize all the things that he had. Because when I go to my grocery store, I actually make my list, and I make it based on the layout of the store. So I'm just going in, okay, milk, Tim. And I don't realize all the other things that they have. So I think I got to go one of those national chains to get those other things when my local grocery store actually has it. If I would have just looked, But nobody, they are now asking me, but when I get to the checkout counter, nobody asks me, did you find everything? Did you get everything on your list? They're now asking me those questions because I talked to them. I said, it's like, I didn't know you had this. Or I think you had said, Dawn, it's if we have it, I think it's over there with it.
Sometimes you ask that question and they're like, oh, well, you couldn't find it.
Yeah. Well, or you get the, I couldn't find it, or you got to go talk to those people. Anybody get to those people of the world? Who are those people? So I find those people. I'm looking for tahini. I don't know what they sent you over here for. You got to go talk to them. I found the thems, the those, and the days that I still don't have any tahini in my hand here. And that ever happen to anybody? And you're just kind of like, you know, then you get somebody who's new that actually is smiling. So Terry, I find Terry because he's smiling, and I'm like, you work here? He goes, yes, I do. Great, you're going to call your family. You know what? We're going to go in the back. We're going to go through every box that you have back there, and we're going to find tahini. If we don't find it, we are going to call everything in Marion County to find tahini. You got that? And I'm taking it out on him because the 3 other people I just talked to were mean to me. The paperwork that you have, if you have all my paperwork, all my insurance information, why am I filling more stuff out, Eric? But then you get people, you know, I haven't been there for, you know, a couple months. So I walk into Eric's pharmacy, and one of the techs says, has any information changed him? No, not at all. So your mailing address is still Washington Street. Oh, no, I moved. Okay, we have your phone number at this. Oh, no, I changed. Anybody ever get one of them? And you kind of like, oh, this is great. Okay, let's go through this again. But if they are a preferred customer, if they've been here a while, and you have all that information, I just need your approval on the bottom of this. I just need you to check this, and boom, I can get you in and get you out of here. I want to try to do as much in our part to get people in, get them out. The Joss guy, again, it's like, I'll send you the bill at the end of the month. That is so cool. That is so cool. One thing I love about small towns, you can leave the keys in the car, and the car will still be there in the morning. Let's not go crazy here, Tim. Can I get in? Can I get out? So the ease of the access. Again, with Walmart, they're chink. If you're going to build 25 aisles, you better have more than 2 open. So can we compete? Look at my store. Look at the layout of it. Look at when people get up there. If you ever get to one of the metro areas, and if you ever have a chance, go into an Apple store. Anybody ever been into an Apple store? How about it, Lisa? Lena? Oh, you want to see customer service at its best? They do it. The one gentleman I walked into, it was a friend of mine. She wanted to do something with her phone. We only talked to one person. And at the end, we didn't even go up to a cash register. He just said, I'll take your credit card, ma'am. He swiped it right there. He had a belt on. He had the credit card. Boom. I walked out of there going, I want to only talk to one person. I don't want to deal with one person. I don't want to have to go to the thems, the those, the days of the world. I just want to be able to have a transaction. Again, this goes back to me training my staff to make sure they're knowledgeable in the products or services. Again, I understand there's certain specialty things that you have that you're not going to be versed in everything, but I don't want to have to say my message 15 times. Anybody ever called on one of the, one of the local, not local, one of the big box places or one of the national chains? Anybody ever call that? Yeah, for dial 1 for English. Okay. At least English is still 1. So now it's a, please enter your account number, your telephone number now. So I put it in, it's kind of like, okay, we see that you're a very valuable customer of ours. Your call will be answered in the order it came in. You're caller number 1122. Your call will be answered in 1 year, 5 months, 4 days, and 6 hours. Anybody ever get one of these things? I hit 0 a lot.
Yeah.
I hit 0 a lot. So now I wait, and now I hear the same song over and over and over, and it's basically the theme song from Carly Rae Jepsen. All I hear for the next hour and a half is, ripped jeans, chin was showing, hot night, wind were blowing, where you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, think you call me maybe. So I hear that. That's like going to Disney World and going on It's a Small World After All, right? And then I hear that the rest of the day. So now I finally get a body, and if the body can speak English, that's just a plus on top of it. So I've just waited on the telephone for X amount of minutes or hours or whatever. What's the first question out of these people's mouths?
What's your name?
Yeah, what's your account number, please? I gave it to you an hour ago! I want to talk to one person, be able to get in, be able to get out. Number 7, the 7th thing, and Marcy shared this, is clean. It's clean. My ex-wife, whenever we would go out to eat, the first place Kathy would go is in the restroom. And I'm like, where are you going? She goes, I'm seeing if we're staying. Huh? Her philosophy was that if I go in that restroom and that restroom's dirty, I wonder what the kitchen looks like. Anybody? When they sit down and they put the water glass there and they bring out the knives and the forks, how many of you ever got a water glass or a coffee mug and you're kind of like, ew, ew, ew. Excuse me. Thank you. Yeah, I've stopped wearing black lipstick back in my Marilyn Manson days. Can I get a drink, please? Yeah. I may not notice clean, but I sure as heck will notice dirty. Marcy showed the picture of the one sign, dirty. She's braver than I. Ew, let's drive by. What does the outside of it look like? What do the walkways look like? What do the aisles look like? Are all the products and the services put back in place? The restroom. How many have ever gone in your own company restroom, store restroom, and you walked in there and you thought to yourselves, how do these people live at home? How do they live at home? If you drop the paper towel on the floor, please, gosh, just pick it up and put it in the wastebasket. The gentleman at the lumberyard, when I was talking to Catherine, the general manager, she was like looking, and I'm like, what are you looking at? She goes, I got one of my staff over there, he's an employee, does this. He actually will go around and he will put everything back and make sure that all the hanging tools, they're all right there, they're all neat, and they're all in a row. And I was watching and I'm like, that is so cool. That's so cool. When you answer the telephone, is it clean? Again, as Lisa said, good morning, good afternoon, the lumberyard, this is Tim, how can I help you? I want to make sure that the words come out, that people can understand them. Think about yourself. I know a lot of you business owners, you're out on the floor. You're out on the floor. I'm okay with that, I'm good. I like that. But I got to make sure that my demeanor and my dress is appropriate for it. People say, why do you wear a suit and tie? It's my upbringing, my dad. For those of you that go to church in here, man, some of the people walking in the church, I got to look at it from a positive, say, at least they're there. At least they're there. Some of the dress, I look at it, it's like, man, there's no way would I get away with walking out of the house with that. Jury duty. I had jury duty. It said, dress like you would go into an interview. You'd be surprised what people go into interviews like nowadays. Just the dress, I want to make sure that I'm clean. The gas company where I live, when they come and actually look at my, gosh, I'm forgetting, they just want to take a reading on it. They actually put booties on. They put little plastic booties on when they walk in my house. I thought that was neat. So clean. Number 8, the 8th thing is courteous. Please, thank you, you're welcome are still very big words in English language. It's amazing how we forgot those. Thank you for being here. Have a nice day. Thank you for shopping with us. Come again with it. Anybody ever hold the door open for anybody? Anybody in here ever hold the door open for somebody? You hold the door open for them. They walk right through it. Don't say anything. You're welcome. That's my reaction. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for bringing the groceries out. Thank you, Eric, for for stopping by. I know you're on your way home. Thank you, though. It is amazing. Just amazing that we forgot thank yous. Thank you notes. Anybody write thank you notes in here to people? Good. Christmas cards? Nah, don't.
Yes.
Thanksgiving Day cards. Send out Thanksgiving Day cards to people. Because Thanksgiving is, I want to give thanks to my customers. Thank you. Thank you for doing business with us. The new year coming up, I heard, I was listening to 93.3. I guess it's the Hutchinson radio station. A couple of the owners were coming up. Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to all my customers for, their patronage and their support over the year, and looking forward to working with you in 2015. Your staff, thank you. If you ask them to do something and they do it, just say, hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Those little things, the little words that are out there, please, thank you. I bark, and I know I bark at times, and I drive my niece crazy. Christy, get in here. It's like, Christy, do you have a couple minutes? I think Marcy had said it, you ask rather than tell, but just common courtesy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a coffee pot, you don't have to do this. If you have a coffee pot, guys, you gotta get yourself. And I'm coming back. And you actually, there's this much, and you have one of them big mugs, and you actually take it all the way down to the bottom. All the way down. And there's only that much left. Do one of two things for me. Either make more, or turn the pot off. How many of you have ever gone in there and thought to yourself, it's like, you gotta be kidding me, come on. This common courtesy. Oh yeah, in the restroom, the toilet paper, guys, you know what, don't be leaving just one sheet. That's just rude on every level. Because I will come out, okay, who's in the bathroom? I will find you and hunt you down. 8th thing is courteous. Number 9 is confident. 9th thing I'm looking for is, am I confident? This goes back to knowledge. This goes directly back to knowledge. The more knowledge I have, the more information I have at my disposal that I give to my staff, the better off they're going to be for my customers. Because I want to be, going back to what Dawn said, I want to look at my customers, I want to tell them what they need rather than what they think they want. I'm sure some of you have had customers come in with their laptops or their tablets. I was on the internet. Well, that was your first mistake. And they said that I need this. For my house, this is what I need. Okay, you're right. That is their recommended. That's what they recommend. Their manufacturers, the people at the store, that's what they recommend. I just need to ask you a couple questions to make sure that what you're thinking of is what you really need. Dawn, how many times have you walked into somebody's home and they wanted the cheapest? They wanted the cheapest. I want to do this. It's the cheapest. And you walked in there, and it's kind of like, and you told them it's kind of like, you know what? I can put in the cheap stuff. I really can. And I'll put it in 6 months from now too. Talking about the traffic, because I see you got 3 little kids.
Or they come in with a certain idea in their head, but they don't know all the products that are available, and they end up picking something completely different that they didn't even know about that they liked a lot better.
Exactly. Going back to just, can I ask you a couple questions? Family room, is it going to be a recreation room? Is it going to be a bedroom? Is it going to be your bedroom? Is it going to be your kid's bedroom? Are you looking at keeping this house for a long time? All of those things. And then being able to look at the person and saying, it's like, okay, installation, we're going to do the padding, we're going to remove your old carpeting, we're going to take that, we'll dispose of it economically and environmentally sound, and we're going to actually put this in, and it's going to come to $5,625. And being able to look at the person in the eye. So I want you to be confident. Tell me what I need rather than what I think I want. But can your staff do that? Can your staff, do they have enough knowledge? Do they have enough confidence in themselves? Have you given them enough confidence to say, look, you tell them what they need. Not what they think they need, but what they truly, truly need. Number 10. The 10th thing is credible. Credible. I want to trust you. This is easy. Do what you say. Do what you say. If you tell me, you know what, Tim, I'm not quite sure, let me call you back. I'll call you back this afternoon by 5. You better call me back by 5, with or without the answer, but you better call me back. I know you have a lot of good customers, relationships. I've heard that word over the last couple days. It's relationships. We built relationships with our business. That's great. But it just takes one person doing one dumb thing to actually blow that right out of the water. some of the contractors. I'm talking paving, I'm talking tree people, paving, tree people, plumbers, electricians. In Allentown, where I live, these people must be independently wealthy. Because every time I call people up for an estimate, I don't get a call back. All I want you to do is just call me back and say, hey, Tim, with the cold weather, we're running about a week behind. I can come out and do the estimate, but we're not going to get to you for another couple weeks. God, I would rather have that than no call at all. Than no call at all. Do what you say you're going to do. Again, I think Roger was talking about that. It's like the advertisement that Walmart's going to have, it's going to be 30 days out. Our advertisement that we use here with the free press is going to be, you know, hey, I have this, we have it on order, we will hold our end of the bargain that we have this price and this is what we're going to give you. Number 11 is professional. It's a small town, people talk. People talk. When I was with Rod yesterday, all of his techs actually have uniforms. He supplies 13 uniforms for those guys. 13 uniforms, pants, shirts, and he actually has a uniform company in and actually cleans them for free. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I also said that if these guys are going to go out and they're going to go to happy hour someplace, they better realize that that is a brand that is on their chest, that it says Rod's Tire. When you walk around here, people associate you with the company, with the business that you work at. And some of you have probably been out and they've come up, hey, it's the guy from the lumberyard. Rod was telling me that he was doing one of his basketball games, and there was a guy, he said it was about 2 hours, I think it was a little west of Salina. I knew I was going to get that wrong. Salina, and he said the one guy came up to him and he said, I remember you, I actually stopped at your store. I'm like, holy crow, you don't know where people are going to be and you don't know who's going to be. The way social media is nowadays, everything is real time. Everything is real time. One of my best friends, he was at Chili's with his 2 sons, and he's one of them people that takes pictures of his food and lets me know he got up that morning. So he puts on his Facebook page, Mark Wagner is with Adam Wagner and Colin Wagner at the Chili's on Tillman Street. 15 minutes later, the general manager or the store manager from Chili's approached him and asked him if everything was okay. Because I'm sure that went out viral or whatever they call it. That went out on social media, and Chili's probably got a hold of it that he was at a certain store and his picture is on his Facebook page, so I'm sure that store manager walked around. I got to watch what I say, what I do, because there are people watching you. Everybody in here's probably got a phone that could stream me online. Mitt Romney, anybody remember his boneheaded move? 47% of Americans will never vote for me because they feel enabled by this present government. Why would those words ever come out of your mouth? Sarah Palin will ever be remembered for, I can see Russia from my house. Perception, got to start selling me. Perception is not the reality. They don't have the lowest. They don't have the lowest. The knowledge, training my staff, coaching them, giving them information, and the wait time, being able to get people in and being able to get them out. I'd mentioned about reacting and responding, breathe. I gave you 11, I gave you a lot of information. Roger gave you some, and Marcy gave you 8 other ideas on how to respond, how to tweak my business to make sure I'm responding. Bring on the Walmarts, guys, bring them on. You know what, if I'm doing my job, my customers, will they go there? They probably will, they probably will. But for the most part, bring them on because I want to see if I'm the best of the best. Last night when I was on my hotel room, I was watching We Are Marshall. One of the quotes Matthew McConaughey said, and he got everybody, he got the whole Marshall team, and he took them to the grave sites of the 6 sons of Marshall. God, I know this is frightening. The funerals end today. Enough reacting, enough Mystery 500 companies. They end today. And we move forward and we respond. We take the information you got here today and you go back and apply it. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Joey. I want to thank Teresa. I want to thank Terry. I want to thank everybody. I'm missing people. I'm probably missing Gene. I'm missing Clint. But I want to thank you for being here and spending the time with me till 7:30 on a Thursday evening. Thank you so much. You guys are free. Be good.